Hi friends, this is Chris.
Yeji.
Welcome back to the channel. So I want to give you an update on our IVF journey and what is going on with that.
So last time I had 3 eggs, but
hmm
2 of them are success.
Wow. So that means we have 2 embryos now. And Yeji actually got a call yesterday.
Yeah, from hospital.
Yeah, and I just heard lots of like kind of happiness sounds, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I don't know.
So
So
we
yeah.
even have a 2 embryo, and we decide
Mm,
to the freeze,
okay.
but
Okay.
we have to wait 3 to 5 days, let them grow,
Right.
and they
Right.
have to check their condition to it can freeze or not freeze.
I see. So, and it's interesting because I wasn't sure what was going to happen
Mm,
because I had looked on the internet and I think the success rate was like 50%
yeah,
chance or
only
something
half.
like that. And you get kind of nervous and worried. And
Yeah, yeah.
you don't know. So
And the nurse said, "Oh, 2 of the embryo is healthy,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you're gonna freeze all of that."
So that's good news. So the question would be then like, where do we go from here? Are we gonna essentially take the embryo and go inside you now? Is that the plan
No,
or?
no, we're gonna freeze. That means not.
Okay,
It's not gonna go inside right now
okay,
because
okay.
we're gonna freeze.
Right. So when are we going to go inside, or what happens next? That'd be the next question, I guess.
So the doctor said, "Let's test next month one more time,"
Okay.
but this time I was in pain like about 3 days. I couldn't even
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna take a break next month. We're gonna try one more time in June. Then
Mhm.
we're gonna try pregnant.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to collect more eggs. I don't.
Mm.
So that means you have to do the injection thing again, probably,
No,
right?
I think that's fine. But I didn't have really have much of side effects. So for me,
Mm.
this injection part wasn't not a big deal.
Yeah, but I'm always concerned. I mean, I think people out there who, and that's why I say we make these videos. Other people haven't experienced. Just you're putting like a hormone into your
Yeah.
body, so you never know. Because actually you told me when you're doing it, there might be a side effect. You could be angry all the time or
I
something.
worry him that even if I just mean all the time, you gotta understand.
So I didn't experience any meanness that was anything
Maybe
abnormal because
yes.
she's always mean to me anyway. So I don't know if there's anything like out of the ordinary.
More mean.
Who knows? More mean, right?
Right after she said, "Oh, congratulations, your 2 eggs all healthy,
Uh-huh.
and you're gonna freeze it." After she's talking about money,
Oh,
so it's how
right, right.
how much takes
It matters. It
Yeah,
matters.
yeah, yeah. One
Yeah.
egg freeze because I don't and we don't want the twin and triple. It's too
No.
much.
Yeah, and there's actually every country has different rules in this kind
Mm.
of thing. So how many
So
embryo could you put in?
in
How does that
Korea,
work? Yeah.
if you're under 35,
Okay.
maximum is three.
Under 35, the maximum is
Three,
3.
I
Okay.
think over 35 maximum is four because you have last chance.
Oh, interesting.
But I told
Mm.
her just I'm gonna just do one by one.
That's what I would prefer as
Mm.
well. I mean, I'm sure there's pros and cons to that because I would,
Sure.
I'm assuming,
Give more chance, but there's more chance that you have twin, triple.
right, right. But I was thinking, okay, let's say we do one and maybe it doesn't work, right?
Mm.
Because it's a possibility. It must be hard on your body if you were to say try 3 times in a row,
Mm.
doesn't work. I'm assuming so. I'm not a
Yeah.
woman, but I read though that maybe not so good on your body. So
Mm.
so that's why maybe some people maybe a time issue would put
Sure.
multiple, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't really want to have twins or triplets by accident. Because if you put in multiple, I think
But if
you're
they divide like naturally,
oh, right, right, right,
yeah,
right,
that
right,
is fine.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's different because when you're putting in multiple, and I'd like to hear from your guys' thoughts on this, but then you're running into like the Elon Musk situation where he's
Mm.
got 14 kids because I think a lot of his are done this way, and so they probably put multiple eggs because it's not random that they have
Yeah,
like
and back
twins.
then we
Yeah.
don't really have the law for that, so people just put as much as they can, and
Oh.
they probably cancel some later.
Mm,
So it's been an
I
issue.
understand. I
So they
understand.
changed the law. 3 and 4 is maximum.
Yeah, there's certainly ethical
Sure,
concerns
sure.
with that kind of stuff, and that gets in the whole, the politics of these kind of things. I would say though, like generally speaking, if you ask just, regular people, most people are okay with some sort of procedure to help you have kids, right? So you're right, but then as also regular people, we have to talk about, should we put limits on how many eggs that you can put in? But the procedure itself, I think most people these days are pretty okay with it. I don't know how common it is in Korea. Do people talk about this that often?
Yeah, I think like 4 of my friends did it.
Oh, so at least among
Well,
your social group, it's actually really
yeah,
common.
it's my friend,
Yeah,
she's
we can't speak
common.
to every Korean out there, and I know in the USA it's fairly common as well, but there's a small section of the population that don't want to do it at all. That's a it's
It's
a it's
fine
a, it's a very
if
small.
you don't want to do it.
Right. I have no problem. You can't force people to do things,
Yeah,
but the issue becomes if they like
they want to
don't.
make it illegal.
Yeah, that kind of
I
stuff.
see.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to mention like things play out say differently here in Korea than it may in USA or other countries. That's what the limiting is actually an important issue to talk about, right? And I think it's a decision. Do they talk about that pretty like the doctor will just give you the option and give you percentages for that kind? We're not that stage yet.
Not yet, but
But
plus,
she would say how many eggs we would
yeah,
need though, right?
not how many, how many, but they don't really tell you the exact number because they don't want you to, kind of stress out by the number.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, so she said, they took like 3 eggs from me. She
Okay.
said it's not much as, other people just said that. And I heard other women talking, some girl had like 10 eggs one time. No, that's a lot, but I only got 3, right?
Right.
So, some women's very stressed out about the situation, but I don't know. And in the hospital they have a like YouTube channel
Oh,
that they
okay.
keep playing. So I saw that you can actually choose the gender,
Wow.
but
Oh,
only certain case. If you have
okay.
a like family disease that only goes to the man or woman, those
Okay.
kind of case, you can pick the gender.
Like regarding health or something like
Yeah.
that. I,
Well, some disease only goes to
yeah, I
the
didn't know that.
XY, only goes to XX. So yeah,
So
only those kind of cases.
so if you just say I just want to choose boy or girl, they don't let you do that.
No.
Interesting. Okay, if there's so I don't know the rules of that in the USA or other countries. You guys can write in the comments.
I think rich people, they can do whatever they want.
They can, right? Well, anyone can do whatever they want anytime,
Yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily make it legal, right? So because we're in a kind of like a new area of the law.
Yeah.
When I was in university, this stuff was relatively new, and where I went to Penn, like they had experts on the ethics of this kind of stuff. Because like it just a lot of things that you hadn't thought about because this technology is all roughly new. Like we've had stuff in this regards to this kind of thing is like are we now going to pick eye color and hair color and your kid has a higher chance of being tall, that kind of. I mean, there's so many factors involved with raising kids, stuff like that. But um, I I think from my point of view, you want to be a success with this whole procedure as fast as possible, right?
Sure.
But you want to be safe. And I wish we would have started earlier, but you don't know.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. So we'll keep you updated on our progress on this thing, and I always appreciate watching, and we'll catch you next time. So bye.